everyone to the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. I'm Nina Davalori, Miss America 2014. I'm here today with ZEE for their inaugural award, Leadership in Entertainment. We're honoring today FCC Chairman Ajit Pai. Stay tuned as all the people start to arrive. We're getting the event started. Congressmen and senators are arriving as we speak, so stay tuned.
Thank you all so much for coming. What great energy in this room this afternoon. Thank you again for coming. My name is Matt Russell with Russell Public Communications here on behalf of ZEE Entertainment. It is my personal privilege to welcome you here to this milestone moment in media for the presentation of the first annual ZEE Entertainment National Leadership Award to Chairman Ajit Pai. Thank you so much for coming. Truly a privilege to have you here in this a very, very busy day on the Hill. Again, so thank you one and all for coming. ZEE Entertainment is a worldwide media brand that offers rich content in entertainment, news, and healthy living. In fact, ZEE Living is one network in particular, the fastest growing cable network in the United States and the only network that focuses the entirety of its content on health promotion and disease prevention. But ZEE Entertainment is more than a global media company. It really is a cultural ambassador to Indians right here in the United States. And I see so many of the ZEE family here with us today that have quite literally traveled all over the world to come here and join us here on Capitol Hill for this historic moment. You know, it really is the intention behind this inaugural awards to recognize and to honor true leaders in the media and entertainment sector. And I think there is widespread enthusiasm and consensus that our honoree this year is one true leader. To continue on with the program, to present the award, it is my personal privilege to welcome to the podium the CEO of International Broadcast Business for ZEE Entertainment. Under his leadership, the company is expanding its footprint in the international arena, driven by a global demand for its products. And we are honored to have him here join with us this afternoon. Please help me welcome the CEO of International Broadcast Business for ZEE Entertainment, Mr. Amit Goenka.
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, let me start by saying thank you to everybody for taking the time to make it here and joining us for this inaugural award event. Thank you once again for everybody to be here. I want to just apologize really quickly for our chairman who couldn't make it. He was fully planned to be here, but the parliament session in India also started this week, and he had to be there for that. But he definitely sends his regards and his gratitude for everybody to be here this evening. The selection of our inaugural honoree was not a difficult choice, as he demonstrated and demonstrates a great commitment to promoting, protecting consumer interests, particularly in our case in the areas of healthy living, wellness, news, and entertainment. We also share his sentiments about civility, vocal and highly visible leader among Washington policymakers. He has underscored the need for the value of civil discourse. This afternoon, we are proud to confer the annual ZEE Entertainment National Leadership Award to FCC Chairman Mr. Ajit Pai for making great strides in promoting excellence in public communication, advancing free market solutions, and encouraging creativity, integrity, and growth. With this, I would like to welcome Chairman Pai to come to the dais. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amit, for the very kind words. Some might have noticed the flurry of cameras, and I can assure all of you I'm used to the paparazzi flocking toward the FCC. Communications regulation puts Hollywood to shame every single day. But I cannot say enough how much I appreciate this recognition by ZEE. There are two reasons why you give an inaugural leadership award like this to someone like me. One, the publicly stated reason, of course, is to recognize my work for the public interest. But the real reason, I think, is that every successive award is guaranteed to recognize somebody who's more accomplished than me. But in all seriousness, I'm so grateful that ZEE is here, that so many supporters of ZEE are here. A few years ago, I was in Mumbai, and I had the privilege of sitting down one-on-one with Dr. Subhash Chandra. And over the course of a couple of hours, I came to understand what an incredible accomplishment it was for him to create a company like ZEE, literally out of nothing. He had obviously a challenging marketplace, he had the hostility of the incumbent government, but nonetheless, he persisted and created something that didn't exist before, an entertainment platform that has entertained now millions, if not billions of people around the world, including my own parents, who 20 years ago were startled to see that they could now finally watch Bollywood movies in the United States, which was something that was they never had the chance to do before. I also have come to appreciate ZEE as just a company. The fact that they have now branched out of just entertainment, focusing on healthy living and making the world a better place. And obviously, this might be good business, but it's also just a good way to help the community. So thank you to ZEE for what you do. I cannot say enough how much I appreciate the members of Congress who have come in. I see Congressman Barton here and others for their support over the years. I'm really grateful to all of you for your kind words over the last 6 months that I've had the privilege of serving as chairman. And I also want to say, just on a personal note, how much it means to me to see so many members of the Indian American diaspora here. I grew up in the late 70s and early 1980s in a small town in Kansas. And looking at TV, reading the newspapers, I never saw anybody who looked like me in the public square. And if you told me 30 years hence, this shy, awkward kid from a small town out in the middle of nowhere was going to have a chance to be recognized by one of the premier companies in the world, to be interviewed by the first Indian American Miss America, to be alongside all these congressmen on both sides of the aisle who are so distinguished in their field, I would have never believed it. And so I think it speaks not to my own qualifications or credentials, but just the fact that this is an amazing country. Only in America, I think, would people like us have a chance to succeed in all these different fields. So thank you to... So thanks again for the award. I see it more as a recognition of the great country we live in as opposed to the labors of one person at an agency. I'm really grateful and can't wait to work with you going into the future. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Chairman Pai. And of course, now you all share this moment with us where we say, well, no wonder. No wonder the company has selected Chairman Pai as its inaugural honoree. Some of the great satisfaction that I have had personally from the moment he walked in the room, the lines that begin to form and the warm, the genuine nature of the interactions and the engagements and frankly the spirit and the love that was manifest right here in this room. This is an entire community, sir, that salutes you and your leadership and the hard work that you do every day to make sure the opportunities are rich before us all. So thank you one and all for coming. Thank you again, Miss America 2014. Nina, it's just a privilege to have you here as well. Did everybody get their selfie? It was almost as long as the line to greet Chairman Pai. But it was nice to have you here as well. Samir Tar, CEO of ZEE TV Americas, thank you so much, sir, for your leadership and everything that you do here in the United States, and to all of our friends and colleagues here to help share in this historic moment in the presentation of this inaugural award. The event still goes on. We have some time to continue the networking, and food and drink is still going on. The lovely music that has been playing will continue on. And And again, thank you all so much for taking time out of your very busy day to help us celebrate this milestone moment in media, as I said, to honor our very good friend, Chairman Ajit Pai. Thank you one and all for coming. Thank you so much.
Chairman Pai, first and foremost, congratulations. It's a pleasure to be here today and an exciting opportunity.
Thanks so much. It's really an honor to get to know you and to be honored by ZEE, a company that's really been so innovative, and I feel very fortunate to be given this award.
Well, what you said was so genuine and heartfelt, but let's start from the beginning. You've been, well, not the very beginning, but you've been at the FCC for a little while now. Was this something that you had in mind, that you were working towards?
Not at all. I mean, President Obama was very gracious in nominating me in 2011. I'd been at the agency for almost 5 years, and when President Trump came into office, I didn't know him previously, and so I wasn't sure if I would get the nod. But now that I have been given the designation as the chairman, it's really been a tremendous blessing. So I feel very, very grateful to everybody for the support.
And I think in one of your previous interviews, you had mentioned that you, in terms of broadcasting, you kind of moved into prime time. So how has that changed for you?
It's been a big change, I have to say. I was a little bit aware of the public eye that the chairman was in, but now that I'm actually in that position, it's incredible. And I find it really gratifying to be able to hear from people around the country, around the world, who really take these issues seriously. And it brings home to me the importance of my job and trying to do the best I can.
So as an Indian American, you are the father of 2 young children. What kind of advice do you have for more, I guess, multicultural families and growing up in America?
Anything is possible. Honestly, anything is possible. As I said a little earlier, when I grew up in the 70s and 80s, I wasn't sure what I was going to do, and I thought for some reason there are certain avenues that were closed off because I never saw people like me in, for example, public service. And I hope, if nothing else, my example demonstrates to young kids now that they can be whatever they want to be, whether it's a public servant, an actor, Miss America. Anything is possible. And that's a great thing about America, I think, is that everyone has a chance to succeed.
Thank you. And so with ZEE TV, do you think that that's something that you will pass on to the next generation, or that they can view?
I certainly hope so. It's really an innovative company, and especially now that they're not just delivering high quality entertainment, but also healthy living and other things that people take very seriously. I think it's going to have tremendous appeal across countries, across demographics. It's really exciting to see what they've done and what they've built.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Oh, thank you. The pleasure's been mine.
Yeah, thank you. And can you tell us a little bit about your affiliation with Chairman Pai?
Yes, recently I had the luxury of being the chairman of the Republican Study Committee. It's the largest Republican caucus in the United States Congress. We have about 155 members. Recently we had Chairman Pai come out and talk about net neutrality and all the great work that they're doing, and we're 100% behind what they're trying to accomplish.
And we were just talking, and you come from quite a diverse state. So how does that affect your population?
Well, I think it affects not only the population, but it affects our ability to be able to govern here. One of the things that we're most excited about is building relationships, both in the Indian communities as well as the Pakistani communities that we represent. We've got a large community there in Greensboro, North Carolina, and we're happy to have their support.
Wonderful. All right, so if I were to visit Greensboro, what's the one place you recommend?
Probably you'd have to go over a little bit just to the east of us or the west of us and go to Old Salem. A lot of beautiful areas there, and we're right in the foothills, so you got little mountains that are coming in. It's a beautiful area, and we welcome you anytime.
Wonderful. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, Congressman, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about your affiliation with Chairman Pai?
Chairman Pai, I've known for quite a while, but the big thing, he went to Alaska. And not just to the big cities. He went to my hometown, Fort Yukon, with 500 people, native people, went to Barrow, all around the state, understanding the need for communication, which is big in my state because we don't have any roads. And we depend greatly on what we do, modern technology, and it worked real well. So I'm happy.
Great. Stephanie, thanks so much for being here with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about the organization you're involved with?
Yeah, I work with SOS Children's Villages. We are an organization that believes every child should grow up in a loving and stable family. We're in 134 countries, including India.
And what specifically is the work that you do in India?
We build families for kids. So for orphan and abandoned children, we ensure that they grow up in a stable family home. They have access to education and medical care. And for families who are struggling to, stay together, we provide them with economic opportunities so that they can stay together with their kids.
And how can our audience get involved?
We have a website, www.sos-usa.org. You could sponsor a child or you could donate to the organization.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Stephanie. Well, Mr. Gupta, thank you so much for being here today with us. Can you tell us a little bit about the event and maybe your affiliation with Chairman Pai and the work that he's done?
To be very honest, possibly this is my first event in terms from the group perspective, but whatever interactions I have with the Chairman Pai, it's a wonderful person. a great ambassador from India perspective, a great ambassador who believes in local culture, the local values, and more important, the public communication. I think the way he has come across is commendable. Somebody who speaks himself, kind of it. So I think we are privileged to have him here today, and it's an honor for the group to applaud him and appreciate him from that perspective.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being here today. I actually grew up in Oklahoma, so not too far away, about 3 hours from Dallas.
Well, so where did you grow up?
I grew up in Ada.
Of course.
Yes,
yeah, Oklahoma.
yeah. So we would actually always go to Dallas because there was quite a large Indian American diaspora there. Does that represent your constituents as well?
We do have
A community?
people that came to East Texas from India, you bet. Sure, of course.
Wonderful.
So I'm east of Dallas and north of Houston.
Okay.
So Houston, of course, there's a large component.
Yes.
But in East Texas, they're big contributors to making the economy go.
Absolutely. And so tell us about your affiliation with Chairman Pai and why you're here at the event today with ZEE.
Well, I'd come to know him some years back. We were working together on an issue to help people. Actually, it was a tragic case in my district. A woman had her kids in a hotel room, and her separated husband came in and was stabbing her and did so for 10 minutes or more. And her little girl kept dialing 911, not knowing she had to dial a prefix before she dialed 911, because her mom had always taught her dial 911. The police could have been there within a couple of minutes, but they weren't, and she ended up dying. So I worked with Chairman Pai, and we were able to work together to get something acceptable to the FCC and to Congress, get it through, pass the House, should pass the Senate very quickly. And it just requires that new phone systems have to be programmed to default where 911 goes directly to emergency services. Now that's a great thing, and that was my first exposure to him some years back, and I've been a fan of his ever since. He is as classy as there is. So I may not be classy, but I know class when I see it. I see it in the chairman, see it in you. Even though Ada, Oklahoma, it's right here.
Well, it takes one to know one. So thank you so much for being here and for all the hard work that you're doing to keep us safe.
It's really a pleasure to meet you.
Hello, Mr. Goenka. Thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to have you. This is the inaugural event and award for leadership with ZEE TV. Tell us what was the impetus behind this award?
So as a company, ZEE TV has been focusing on leadership for many years now. So we do a event across many parts of the world, which is called the ZEE Leadership Series, which invites industry leaders, thought leaders to come and talk to people about their vision on how the media and entertainment industry should grow. So we said we need to complement that with something beyond that to actually recognize people. And that's really how this whole ZEE Leadership Awards was conceived by our chairman, yeah.
And so you had mentioned that the Chairman Pai was an easy selection for this process. Was there kind of an idea behind that process, or maybe some qualities that you really saw within Chairman Pai?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we've been following Chairman Pai and his career over the years, and how, wonderfully he has been a strong proponent for so many things, especially civility and civil. I'm forgetting the term, but just the civil discourse and things like that. And I think that's something that's really the reason why he is the chairman today of the FCC, and I think that's the reason we wanted to look at it was pretty obvious to us when we looked at that, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the Indian American diaspora. I think ZEE TV has really done a wonderful job of reaching out to the older generations. How do you see ZEE TV kind of evolving with younger generations?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're doing, what we're doing currently is we're creating a lot of content on the digital platforms we have. So we have India.com, which caters to about 4 million South Asians across the US. We are creating a lot of content for the what we call the it's not the right term, but what we call the hyphenated identities, so American Indians who are second, third, fourth generation American Indians living here, and we're creating now a whole slew of content just for that segment.
Well, we're very excited. I have one last question. There was a quote that your father had said. He said, "Knowledge can be acquired and experience can be transferred, but talent cannot. You either have it or you don't." So I have to ask you, was there a specific talent or quality that you saw within yourself from a young age, and how did you discover it, and who helped you cultivate that talent?
That's a tough question. But I would absolutely say that, for me, my mentor is my father. And he's really the person who believed in me and helped me or guided me through the entire journey when I was a child and into what I am today. So I think he identified the talent, not myself, and he believed in me, so I believed in me. I think that's really what it is.
Well, I'm sure he's very proud. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.